You've heard the legend of Pocahontas, the Native American princess who saved John Smith. But the real story is far more complex. Her true name was Matuaka. Pocahontas was just a childhood nickname meaning playful one. She wasn't a princess as we imagine, but the daughter of Chief Wahonsenaka, leader of the Powhatan Confederacy in what's now Virginia. Matuaka grew up in a vibrant world of forests, rivers, and close-knit villages. The Powhatan people lived in yahakans, homes made from saplings and woven mats. They were skilled farmers, growing corn, beans, and squash, and everyone had a role. Women farmed, men hunted and fished, and children learned by doing. Matuaka learned to gather plants, help with farming, and make pottery and clothing. The Powhatan believed spirits lived in nature, and their ceremonies honored these forces. Her father was both a political and spiritual leader, respected by many tribes. As his daughter, Matuaka had special status, but her life was shaped by tradition and community needs. Education came through stories, songs, and hands-on experience, not classrooms. Life was about balance, cooperation, and respect for the land. Matuaka's childhood was filled with lessons in survival, culture, and spirituality. She belonged to a strong, organized society long before English ships appeared on the horizon. The world she knew was about to change forever. The arrival of strangers would test everything she'd learned. Her story is not just legend. It's the story of a real girl facing a world in upheaval. And it all began in the heart of Powhatan country. In 1607, when Matuaka was about 11, 3 English ships landed and built Jamestown. The Powhatan watched the newcomers with curiosity and caution. They looked different, spoke strangely, and carried guns. Chief Wahonsenaka had to decide, friend or foe. Captain John Smith, one of the English leaders, was captured by Powhatan warriors. The famous rescue by Pocahontas. Most historians doubt it happened as Smith described. He wrote about it years later, likely exaggerating for attention and support. The event was probably a ritual to adopt Smith into the tribe, not an execution. Matuaka, just a child, would have played a symbolic role at most. The legend served English interests, but the real story was about power, diplomacy, and misunderstanding. The truth is far more nuanced than the myth. After the ceremony, Matuaka became a bridge between her people and the English. As a child, she visited Jamestown, sometimes bringing food, vital for the starving settlers. These visits were strategic. The Powhatan gathered information, the English gained supplies. Matuaka learned some English, and the settlers learned about her people. She was a messenger, not a romantic figure. Her relationship with John Smith was never a love story. The peace was fragile. As more settlers arrived, tensions grew. John Smith left after an injury. The English told Matuaka he was dead. Violence escalated, and Matuaka stopped visiting Jamestown. The bridge she helped build began to crumble. Her role as a go-between was over, and the two worlds drifted further apart. The myth of romance hides the reality. Matuaka was a child caught between cultures. Her efforts at peace were real, but the forces of conflict were stronger. The world she knew was changing fast. In 1613, at 17, Matuaka was kidnapped by the English and held for ransom. Her father tried to negotiate, but she remained a captive for over a year. During captivity, she was taken to Henricus, taught English ways, and converted to Christianity. She met John Rolfe, a tobacco farmer who wanted to marry her, partly for peace, partly for her soul. Matuaka, now called Rebecca, agreed to the marriage. Her true feelings remain a mystery. The wedding in 1614 brought a brief peace between the English and Powhatan. For Matuaka, it was a new identity, a new life, and a new name. She was far from home, adapting to survive. Her marriage was a political alliance, not a fairy tale. The peace of Pocahontas was fragile, but for a moment it held. Her choices were shaped by captivity, diplomacy, and hope for her people. The legend simplifies. The reality was far more complicated. In 1616, the Virginia Company took Rebecca, John Rolfe, and their son to England. She was paraded as proof that civilizing native people was possible, a living advertisement for the colony. London overwhelmed her, but she handled herself with dignity, even meeting King James and Queen Anne. She reunited with John Smith, whom she'd been told was dead. Their meeting was tense, not romantic. Rebecca was not a passive symbol. She remembered her past and spoke her mind. In 1617, as she prepared to return home, she fell ill and died at about 21. She was buried in England, far from her homeland. The myth of Pocahontas grew, used to justify colonization and erase the real story. But her true legacy is resilience, a Powhatan woman who navigated impossible choices with courage. Her life was not a fairy tale, but a testament to survival and strength. The real Matuaka deserves to be remembered.
They buried the truth? We dig it up. Subscribe for Lost Civilizations, Forbidden Stories, Hidden History, and more. This is Phylosia Discovery.